Let's be honest, sometimes forgiveness feels impossible. Not because we don't want peace, but because someone hurt us so deeply, it feels like letting go would be like letting them off the hook. They didn't say sorry, or maybe they did, but the wound still lingers. The truth is, unforgiveness doesn't protect you, it poisons you. It hardens your heart, isolates you from others, and slowly eats away at your peace. I've felt what it's like to hold on to pain and call it protection. I've replayed conversations in my head, justified my anger, and told myself I'm just setting boundaries, when really, I was building walls. But I've also been on the other side, receiving forgiveness I didn't deserve. And that kind of grace, it doesn't just take the weight off your shoulders, it breaks open the door to healing. Forgiveness isn't about fairness, it's about freedom. And sometimes it's the boldest act of faith we'll ever take. Hey, welcome back to Faith in Action, a journey of transformation. If this is your first time here, I'm really glad you're joining us. This series is all about learning how to live out our faith, step by step in real life. And believe it or not, we're nearing the end. After today, we have just 2 episodes left before we close out the series. So if you've been walking with us, thank you. And if you're just joining in, there's still time to jump in and grow with us. So far, we've talked about what faith is, how it starts in the heart, how we live it out daily, and how it grows in community. But today, we're stepping into one of the most difficult and one of the most transformational expressions of faith: forgiveness. And I want to be clear, this isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. This isn't about minimizing the wrong. This is about trusting God with what's too heavy for us to carry and choosing to walk in the freedom He offers. Because when you hold on to unforgiveness, it doesn't just affect the other person. It shapes your heart, it clouds your perspective, and eventually it weighs down on your faith. Forgiveness isn't easy, it's not natural, but it is biblical. And for those of us who follow Jesus, it's not optional. It's essential. So in this episode, we're going to explore what forgiveness really is, why it's such a powerful act of faith, and how we can take steps towards it, even when it feels impossible. Let's start with a bold question from Peter, one that many of us have probably wondered ourselves. Lord, how often should I forgive someone who sins against me? 7 times? No. Not 7 times, Jesus said, but 70 times 7. Now, Peter thought he was being generous. 7 times? That's a lot of grace. But Jesus wasn't just raising the number, he was redefining the math of mercy. 70 times 7? That's 490 times. In other words, don't keep count. Forgiveness isn't a quota, it's a lifestyle. And to drive the point home, Jesus tells a parable about a servant who owed his master a massive debt, millions of dollars worth in today's terms. And when he couldn't pay, the master ordered that everything he owned be sold to cover it. But the servant begged for mercy, and the master did something unexpected. He didn't just give him more time, he canceled the debt completely. But then that same servant walked out, found someone who owed him just a few dollars, and demanded repayment. And the man begged for mercy, the servant refused, and had him thrown into prison. When the master found out, he was furious. Jesus ends the parable with a chilling warning. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had mercy on you? Then the angry king sent the man to prison to be tortured until he paid his entire debt. That's what my heavenly Father will do if you refuse to forgive your brothers and sisters from your heart. Let that sink in. Forgiveness isn't just a good idea, it's a God command. Not because He wants to control us, but because He knows what unforgiveness does. It traps us in bitterness, it isolates us in pain, and it blocks us from experiencing the mercy we've already been given. Jesus isn't saying forgiveness is easy. He's saying it's essential. Because He knows the cost of carrying a debt we were never meant to hold. If you've ever struggled with forgiveness, you're not alone. It's one of the hardest things God asks of us, and yet it's also one of the clearest ways to reflect His heart. Colossians chapter 3, verse 13 says, "Make allowance for each other's faults, and forgive anyone who offends you. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must forgive others." Forgive, just as the Lord forgave you. Not because it's easy, not because it's fair, but because Jesus made the first move. He didn't just overlook your sin, He paid for it. He took your guilt, your shame, your mistakes, and He carried them to the cross. And the cost? It was His blood, His body, His life. The nails weren't just painful, they were payment. The cross wasn't just suffering, it was sacrifice. He bore the full weight of justice so that we can receive mercy. So when He says, "Forgive as I have forgiven you," He's not minimizing your pain. He's inviting you into His love. The same love that carried your sin and buried it in the grave. That's why we forgive. Not because they deserve it, but because we didn't either. Forgiveness isn't about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about refusing to let the pain have the final word. It's about choosing freedom over bitterness, healing over holding on, surrender over self-protection. It's saying, I trust the one who paid for me to help release what's been holding me. And that right there, that's faith in action. Because faith isn't just about trusting God with your future, it's trusting Him with your wounds. It's believing that He can handle the hurt, that He can carry the weight, that He can bring justice, and that His healing is better than your revenge. Forgiveness is where faith meets obedience, and obedience opens the door to freedom. And when we forgive, we don't lose power, we take it back. We don't look weak, we look like Jesus. Even on the cross, after betrayal, abandonment, and abuse, Jesus said, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." That's grace. And grace doesn't just lighten your load, it transforms your life. I want to pause here for a moment. Is there someone who came to mind while we were talking about forgiveness? Someone whose name or face quietly surfaced in your heart? Someone who hurt you and it still stings? You don't have to have it all figured out, but maybe this is your invitation. Not to rush past the pain, but to bring it into God's presence. Ask Him, "Lord, what would it look like to trust you with this? What would it look like to forgive by faith?" Take a breath, sit with that. Because what comes next isn't just about what we do, it's about what we let God do in us. So here's how we begin to walk this out. 1, ask God to reveal where you're still carrying pain. Sometimes we've lived with certain hurts for so long that we've stopped noticing them, but God hasn't. So take a quiet moment and pray, "Lord, is there someone I need to forgive? Someone I'm still carrying in my heart?" Don't rush the answer. Listen. Let the Spirit bring it to light. 2, name the pain, then give it to God. Once the person or situation comes to mind, don't stuff it down. Acknowledge the hurt. Write it down, speak it in prayer, then say these words, even if your emotions haven't caught up yet. God, I choose to forgive them. I trust you with my pain. I trust you with justice, and I trust you to heal me. Forgiveness isn't a feeling. It's an act of obedience. 3, do something that moves you towards healing. Maybe it's writing a letter, even if you never send it. Maybe it's praying for the person every day this week, or maybe it's finally having a hard but healing conversation. Whatever the step is, ask God to lead it. Take it prayerfully, and don't do it alone. Invite a trusted friend or pastor to walk with you. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful expressions of faith you can ever live out. It takes courage to let go. It takes trust to release the outcome. But when we forgive, we're not saying the pain didn't matter. We're saying we trust God to handle it. And that kind of faith, it sets us free. So if you've been holding on to something, take it to God. He's already paid the price for your healing. You don't have to carry it anymore. There are only 2 more episodes left in this series, and we're not slowing down. So be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this episode with someone who needs it. Until next time, keep walking in faith, and remember, forgiveness isn't just mercy, it's faith in action.